What's going on YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. If you've been here before, thank you for returning. If you are new to the channel, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and share this video if you like what you see. You saw the title and the thumbnail. Today we're going to be setting a Schnauzer pattern on this little guy Audi, who yes was matted, but I will be showing you how I dematted him and what I did to do it. But without further ado, let's get straight into this video. So to start off this video, we're going to be doing the basic prep work as usual. We're going to be doing paw pads, sanitary, and nails. And when I was doing this sanitary, that's actually when I discovered that he was matted, but I didn't realize how matted he was until I got him in the bathtub and I started scrubbing him. But just like every other video, we're going to start off with a topic before we get into the actual haircut, because the prep work is something that you see me do all the time, as well as washing and blow drying. So for this video, I do want to talk about spaying and neutering your dog and when to actually do it, and the importance of not doing it too early, if doing it at all. Now, I know spaying and neutering your dog is a controversial topic, but I do believe it is a topic of importance that needs to be discussed. I know some people side with vets and believe the best way to control the pet population is to spay and neuter your dog, and other people believe that it's not natural to spay and neuter your dog. A lot of people believe that if you don't spay and neuter your dog, they are open to a slew of health risks. And there are another group of people who don't believe that is true. Today I'm going to discuss my opinion and my research on it. The other day, a customer came in with a puppy that was a little less than 3.5 months old, stating that she wanted to get the dog's hair cut before the dog got neutered, because the vet told her because the testicles have dropped, he's able to get neutered now. This immediately raised a red flag to me as well as my coworkers. We informed the owner that the puppy was way too young to be neutered, and that the dog's hormones as well as the body hasn't even fully developed yet. So neutering him at this young of an age was way too big of a health risk. We did not fault this owner for making this decision, because like most owners, they take what the vet says and run with it. I have nothing against vets. I take my dog to the vet all the time. I just personally do my own research on different topics, especially something that's going to alter my dog's body as well as his hormone system. I personally do not believe in spaying and neutering your dogs while they're puppies. I do believe in waiting until they get older and they fully develop, as well as their body structure develops, and then spaying and neutering your dog if you choose to decide that. Dogs don't stop growing and maturing until after about, from my experience, anywhere between 2 and 3 years old. So for me, I would not get my dog spayed or neutered prior to that. Now, I do have a dog that I got neutered when he was 6 months old, but I was also younger and didn't know any better and hadn't done my own research, just like most pet parents out here. But to all people out there that are considering getting their dog spayed or neutered, I urge you to do your own research. There is so much information out there available to you. You just have to take the time out to do it. I'm here to tell you that when you spay and neuter your dog, the coat texture changes immediately. It cuts off the dog's hormones and can open your dog up to new health risks. And from the research that I've done, for my personal knowledge, there's no scientific proof or research that has proven spaying and neutering your dogs will protect them from getting some sort of cancer. So again, to everyone, please take the time out to do the research. 1, before you get a dog. 2, about the dog you're getting. And 3, if you should spay or neuter your dog. So now let's get into the haircut. First, I'm going to be setting the Schnauzer pattern with a 5 blade. I'm going to be doing a 5 blade on his back, and then I'm going to skim it off for his furnishings. Yes, they're called furnishings, not a skirt, but I'm going to skim it off of his furnishings. And then you'll see me fine on his front chest, the chest bone, because some of his furnishing stops right before the chest bone, but on the sides it goes all the way down to his shoulder blade. Now, this is just my opinion, but I think a 5 looks so good as a Schnauzer pattern. I don't personally like to go down to a 7 blade, because I believe a 7 blade is too close to the skin and it shows too much skin, and sometimes it can be harder to blend with the furnishings. But real quick, when you are doing the side of the body for the Schnauzer and are blending off, you want to roll the back skin so you can get that furnishing line down, because it's supposed to align with the the outline of his body, so like the outline of his chest. So the line is supposed to be further down. It's not supposed to be around the sides of the dog like a hula hoop. It's supposed to be all the way down to the outlining of his body. So remember, when you're doing your next schnauzer pattern on your dog, no hula hoop. That's literally what it looks like. It looks like a dog with a skirt with a hula hoop. So no hula hoop, bring it down to the outlining of the body. Right here is where you're going to see me feel where his chest bone is, so I know where to skim off properly. I think I felt it twice, just so I can make sure I'm not taking his chest furnishings too short. And to set the schnauzer head, typically I'll do a 7 reverse, but sometimes a 5 reverse looks a little better. So for him, I did a 5 reverse on his head because I did a 5 on his body. And I'll be honest, usually whatever I'm doing on the body, I'll do in reverse on his head. So for a schnauzer, their head is supposed to be shaved down, their ears are supposed to be shaved down, their cheeks are supposed to be shaved down. The head, the cheeks, and the ears are supposed to be shaved in a 10. And as you can see, Audi was a little nosy, so no matter what somebody was doing, he had to pay attention to it. So a couple times I had to just redirect his focus, but he got it after a while. But always remember, when you're setting a schnauzer head, it should be a 10 on the top of the head, the cheeks, and the ears. And when you're shaving the cheeks, you shave in a 10 from the corner of the eye to the corner of the lip. You don't shave from the corner of the eye straight down. Always a diagonal line from the corner of the eye to the corner of the lips. Now for Audi, I did his face before I finished the rest of his body because I knew his mom was in the area. And wait till you see when his mom stopped in. He absolutely lost it. He loves his mom. He loves his little sister. They also have another little puppy schnauzer who was in the back. But he loves anything that is family related for him. So I had to set his face first because I knew she would pop in. But when you are setting a schnauzer face and you're doing the eyebrows, one, you don't want them to be too fluffy. So it shouldn't be just two thick lines of fur at the top where you're setting the eyebrows. It needs to be thinned out so that they're not too thick. Eyebrows are also supposed to be longer and there's supposed to be a curve inside the eyebrows. But because the owner was trimming some of the face at home, the owner's husband was trimming some of the face at home, there was not much of his eyebrow left. So I had to make do with what was there and set his eyebrows that way. But for pet parents out there, if your groomer sets the eyebrows and they're a bit longer, that's how they are supposed to be set. But if you do like shorter eyebrows, which a lot of pet parents do, you can always request that. Now, I do usually teach don't bounce around. And what I mean by don't bounce around is don't start one thing, finish it, and then do the next thing, or start another thing, finish it, and do the next thing. You want to finish one thing first so you're not taking that much time out of your grooming by putting your shears down, picking up your clippers, putting your clippers down, picking up your shears. So what I just did, I set some of his face, put the shears down, picked up his clippers. Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm pretty good with time management, so I know how to catch myself back up, but don't do that if you're learning how to groom. Now, as I stated in my last video, all dogs do this. Something about when you're scissoring the ears, they have to look every other way than what you're trying to do. I don't understand it. It's like they're like, no, don't touch the ear, don't touch the ear, don't touch the ear, but you have to. But when you are scissoring ears for new groomers, use smaller shears. Again, I've been doing this for a pretty long time, so I am more comfortable with longer shears. But when you are setting the ears and you're scissoring the ears, when you have to get the last little bit of fur on his ears, scissor it with smaller shears. And this is when his mom came in, and he knew it and he lost it like every dog does. Just to give a heads up to pet parents, do not come in the salon when your dog is on the table, because your dog has a very high chance of being cut. But that is why I did his face first, because I knew his mom was in the area, and I knew once he saw her, it would be so hard to get his face set. But do not come in the salon if you see your dog on the table. That is a big distraction to your dog, as well as the groomer, and a pretty big safety risk. But the mom was really sweet. She was really understanding. She actually said, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to mess up the vibe." I thought it was so funny. I'm like, no, you're okay. But just for everybody, don't come in the salon when you see your dog on the grooming table. One example that I'll give of why you shouldn't come in the grooming salon when your dog is on the table, and again, this is nothing to the pet parent. She was very sweet, very understanding, and she apologized. When I worked at one of my last stores, one of the groomers was working on a dog's face, and the owners walked in when the dog was on the table getting his face trimmed, and they were like, "Oh my goodness, look at how cute. Oh, he looks great," and just talking in a baby voice. Well, the groomer freaked out, had to let the owners know, "Listen, you cannot do that. That is exactly how a dog can get cut. Do not come in this salon when your dog is on the table and I'm scissoring the face." Well, the dog got cut because, again, when you're scissoring with a sharp object and the dog jerks his face, you have no control because you're already in the middle of focusing on what you're doing, and then the dog got cut. So just when you see your dog on the table, stay outside the door. It is the best and the safest way. Trust me. Now I'm going to be going in and I'm scissoring up his furnishings as well as his legs. So you'll notice that I didn't take a guard comb or anything over the legs. I like to scissor Schnauzer legs. I don't like to take a guard comb over it because I don't believe it cuts properly. And then I also don't believe it is easy to blend when you cut it. So I like to scissor down my own work. But when you are scissoring Schnauzer legs, you really shouldn't take a guard comb over it because the legs are supposed to be fuller, and then the furnishings on the body and the chest are supposed to be shorter. So for me, I just go in and I neaten up everything that's already there, make sure I scissor up all the sticky outies, and there's nothing that looks incorrect or there are no imperfections in my work, because I am so detail oriented, it drives me insane. I'm a perfectionist when it comes to grooming, and it frustrates me a little bit sometimes. For all new groomers, and hear me when I say this and listen to me when I say this, because I didn't listen when I was a new groomer and somebody told me this. Your comb is your best friend. When you are scissoring, use that comb. Comb, brush, brush, brush. It's actually a joke between me and some of my old coworkers back up in Philly. But your comb is your best friend, especially when you're doing longer lengths, because your comb will find your imperfections as well as the knots inside of the dog's fur. One thing I do not like doing as a groomer, or one thing I do not like about my job as a groomer, is touching the dog's private parts. I don't know what it is, but I don't like it. I really don't like it at all. Oh, I don't like it. So I do this on every dog that I'm working on because ever since I found it in a YouTube video, and I wish I could name the groomer that showed this in one of her videos, but I cannot remember her name. But I said this in one of my last videos when I was doing a toy poodle. I run my hand down the leg to bring all of the fur past the paw pad, and I scissor everything that's there. When you're done scissoring it, the foot is going to look crazy. But once you finish everything out, it just looks like they're floating on their paw pads. The foot looks very neat, everything looks clean, but that's what I do for feet. And I love how it turns out every single time. And as you can see, Audi just mildly forgot that his mom showed up, because in the back of his mind, he still remembers that she was there because he still tries to look at the door, but he did almost forget that she showed up, and he was able to stand still and let me finish the rest of the groom. Now I'm just going to quick once over him to make sure that there are no more imperfections. I'm going to do my famous waxing of the lips, that's what I call it, before I finish him up and take his picture. Now we're going to take a quick flashback look at his before, and there you have it. Another happy customer, another happy dog, and man, he looks so good. Oh my goodness, he looks so good. Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you like what you see. Drop a comment on what you might want to see next, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Love you guys.